Hi, my name is Jared and I'm 21 years old, and I permanently moved to New York City in the middle of a pandemic. I currently go to Pace University, and last year I dormed, but I moved officially from Texas to Brooklyn in May, and this is what that's been like for me. So when I first moved to New York, I I was very excited, as one would be. You know, it was my lifelong dream. I've always wanted to move here, and it was definitely a game changer. I knew it was a life changing decision. And I remember, I spent a couple months with my family over the summer because school had ended early. So, I went home and I spent a lot of time with my family and I really enjoyed it. And all I can remember is that one night, I went to bed at my mom's house, and then I woke up and suddenly I knew my life was about to change. I knew that that was it for me, and I was gonna be officially, like, an official adult. Not that I hadn't been before, but now I knew I wasn't coming back home to live. So, you know, I woke up and I was like, oh my god, this is it. This is the moment my life is gonna change forever. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening. So, my mom drives me to the airport. I think she held her composure that time. She didn't cry a lot. And I just remember, flying from San Antonio to New York City. And it was a long day of travel. I think it was like 5 or 6 hours of traveling that day. Maybe, yeah, like 5 or 6 hours, give or take. And no, it was definitely 6 hours, but that's besides the point. So I get to my dorm in New York City at Pace, and I remember I had to pack that night, like, cause technically we weren't allowed to stay in the residence halls, but I had to ask them, can I please stay? Because there's no way I can come from Texas to New York, pack, and move out all in one day. It was not gonna happen. So I remember just getting into my dorm like late at night. I think it was like, I don't know what time it was. Maybe it was late, maybe it wasn't. It was the evening for sure. So I get into my room and I start to realize, like, oh my god, I'm on my own out here. I don't have any family. I don't have anybody, really, besides, the very few friends that I do have. And I started to get so emotional. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? Am I making the right decision for my life? What's going on? I knew deep in my heart, God allowed me to do what I've always wanted to do for a reason, but I was scared for sure, and happy and excited all at the same time. And I literally had an emotional mental breakdown. And I remember I was crying, and then my cousin Gabby, um, she FaceTimed me, and I was like, I was already emotional. I told her, I was already missing family at that point. It hadn't even been a full day. And I told her, I just remember telling her, I was like, I don't want to cry. And then, like, I started bawling my eyes out. I felt so bad. I was like, oh my god, poor Gabby thinks, like, I don't know what she's thinking, but I was like, poor Gabby, like, I'm not trying to be crying over the phone with her, but I needed to get that tension out of my mind, and that change and all my feelings out of my heart. I just needed to release it all. We don't need to get into the big move, but the next day I moved. It was a pretty successful move. I only lost one thing, which was a dustpan. Um, I don't know what happened with the dustpan. Like, I asked the guy if it was in the van, and he was like, well, he didn't say anything. He didn't even get back to me after I had already tipped him. But that's another story. I'm just glad I got all my stuff in one piece, like I said, besides the dustpan. The moral of this whole moving to New York during a pandemic, when life is just crazy and everything's getting shut down, the message here is, little did I know I was about to be in for a long season of loneliness. Just pure loneliness and feeling alone. Literally, I've never felt so alone in my life. I could have never predicted that this would be my experience of moving to New York City. Um, and literally, y'all, like, I have never cried so much in my life. Like, literally. There have been so many nights where I'm just on my knees, crying, literally hands up, praying to God, and surrendering all of my burdens to the Lord, and just asking God, please, like, I'll tell you, like, some of my prayers are like, God, please, like, I just want want even just one really, really good friend here in New York. Just even just one. If I'm lucky, if I'm, blessed enough, I'll get two. But just people to hang out with, on a regular basis. I have friends here in New York and some friends that didn't return because they're in their states and their respective states because they didn't want to come back. And what's the point of coming back and doing online class? It doesn't make any sense. So as I was saying, there have been so many nights where I've cried myself to sleep, or, I've just literally pleaded with the Lord, like, God, I'm doing everything I can to make it through the season. Please, God, just watch over me, bless me, heal me, be with me, use me, Lord, help me reach other people. Like, God, I'm in this season for a reason, and I want you to use me in it. God, use me in this season. And this has honestly been the hardest thing in my life. Like I said, yes, I'm happy to be here, but at the same time, it's so lonely. And Broadway's shut down till May. And, New York is slowly opening up, but it's pretty much practically, I think, still a ghost town. It's not the New York that I know and that we know. The point that I'm trying to make here is that just because I post, on social media, oh my God, New York this, New York that, I'm so blessed to be here, which I am blessed to be here. But just because I'm posting all this happy stuff all the time does not mean that every day and every night it's just rainbows and happiness galore over here. There are many times, more often than you think, that I'm just weeping and calling out to the Lord to change my situation. And I think all of us at some point in life are going to go through a season where we just feel, lost in the storm, I guess. And I definitely have had to walk through this tunnel of loneliness. But I do know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I have faith that God is going to restore that empty feeling and change it, It's just a matter of having faith and having hope. Faith, hope, two of the most important things that you could ever have and hold on to. Because let me tell you, without hope, without faith, I literally would be so miserable. Those are two of the only things that have gotten me through this time and this season in my life. And as we're reaching the end of the year, I'm starting to feel better, There are times when I'm great, and there's times when I just cry out again to God. I'm constantly asking God whether I'm happy or sad. Whatever my emotions are, doesn't matter what they are, I'm constantly in conversation with God and saying, God, thank you for today. I wake up, thank you, Lord, for another blessing of today. And that's something that we don't realize. I think a lot of people take a single day for granted, when in reality, you woke up today. If you're watching this video, you were literally blessed. Somebody didn't wake up today. So if your pulse is beating, you still got a purpose, my friend. God is still going to use you to bless other people and to do great things here on this earth. One of my friends, she gifted me a journal, one of the best gifts I've ever received. And I hadn't journaled at all. And then there was that one point when I was like, I'm going to journal. I think this is the time where I'm going to journal, where I'm going to make my first entry. And this has to do with other things in my life, but it kind of ties into being lonely. I started to feel like maybe this, I don't know what the heck, why I'm bringing this up, but I think, like I said, it ties into loneliness. I started to feel like, maybe nobody will ever love me. Maybe I'm never gonna meet someone one day, or maybe because of my past experiences with people, that maybe I didn't deserve to be loved by someone else, you know? And love is a whole nother conversation. I'm just using this as an example of the way my brain works and operates sometimes. So I just wrote and I journaled about it. I was like, God, like, I feel like no one will ever like me, or whatever the case is. I feel like I'll never find someone that appreciates me and loves me for being who I am and not what somebody else wants me to be. So one night I'm on this app and I get a message from this guy, and like, he seemed like a nice person. And um yeah, he ended up being a nice person, and I ended up meeting him. And you know, I don't even care like if he's watching this right now, and like, I totally embarrass myself. I don't care. Like, he was literally, in my opinion, people will think I'm crazy, literally the answer to my prayers, because he's the first guy that I've met that's super kind, super nice, super genuine. At least I hope. that's what I still believe. And was just so, just like, great. And I was like, oh my God, this is God's way of answering my prayers. Not to sound like a crazy person, but I literally couldn't believe that someone was treating me so kind, because in my past, people have just treated me like complete shit. Like, literally like trash on the side of the road. And none of us, my friends, none of us are trash on the side of the road. You are not trash. You are gold. You are light. You are love. You are freaking amazing. Never forget it. So I just remember that week. Literally, that week was the best thing that's ever happened to me in all of my time being in Brooklyn. And like, that's a fact. Whether this person thinks I'm crazy, or like, whatever the case is, like, I can honestly say that was the best thing that's happened to me since I moved to Brooklyn. I sound like a crazy person. I don't care. Just don't care. I'm grateful, thankful to Jesus. It is what it is. And to me, that was God's way of saying, like, Jared, I'm listening to you. I'm I see your tears, even when you don't have the words to speak, you know, just your tears coming out of your eyes. I see you and I hear you, and I'm gonna be here for you, and I'm gonna carry you through the season in your life. Today, it's October 23rd, technically, because it's already past midnight. And I moved to Brooklyn on May 8th, I believe. So we'll just say, we'll count May as one full month. So May, June, July, August, September. We're almost done with October. So let's just say almost gonna go on 6 months that I've been in this constant battle with loneliness and just feeling alone. But the more that I pray, and the more tears that I cry, and the more that I'm in conversation with God, the closer I feel to coming out of this season in my life. And I really, really do believe that. You know, my pastor said something one time. He said, there is a reason for the season. So it doesn't matter if you're going through a season of heartbreak, through a season of happiness, season of feeling lonely, season of joy, season of blessings. I mean, we're always blessed, you know, in life, but sometimes you go through a season where it's like blessing upon blessing upon blessing upon blessing. You get the point. So it doesn't matter what season you're in right now, there's a reason for it, and I 100% believe that. And I hope that this video is blessing the viewer in some kind of way, and at least that's my prayer. The whole point of this video is to show that sometimes in life, even your biggest moments are gonna have rainy storms in them. They're gonna have hard times, good times. It's gonna be a mix of so many things. And when you go through your most challenging times in life, you have to hold on to faith. You just have to do it. Even if you don't believe in God like me, like, hold on to hope. At least hold on to hope. If you don't have hope, what else do you have? Negativity? Hope will get you somewhere. As I keep praying and getting closer to God each day, I'm starting to feel more hopeful, more closer to the end of this crazy storm in my life. And this December, I'm actually going to spend the last month of this year with my family. I made that decision for myself. It's important for my mental health. And I'm really excited to end the year with the people that I love the most. And it's going to restore my like emptiness in my heart. People always say this one thing too. It's like, in order to get the oil, you need to crush the olives. So sometimes in life, in order to get to new opportunities and the biggest blessings God has in store for your life, you're gonna have to be crushed. In order for God to use you, you're gonna have to be crushed. And it's just part of it all. It's part of his plan. So even when you're being crushed, just remember, you're gonna come out of it better than you were when you walked in to the storm, stronger than you were, and more prepared for what's to come. Because I believe when God allows you to be crushed, he's actually preparing you for your destiny and for blessings that you're never going to be able to expect. If you're going through a rough time right now, I promise you, you are not alone. You are not alone. Most importantly, God is with you. Whether you believe it or not, God is going to carry you through it. And he's gonna help you stay afloat above the tides and the currents that are coming and encompassing you right now. We talked about it in youth group like 2 weeks or so ago, and I said, like your faith and God, having God in your life is like having a life jacket. You're never gonna drown when you have them. You do have to hold on. You gotta put the life jacket on, but guess what? You're not gonna drown. And you're not gonna sink in the enemy's plans. The enemy will send currents and tides that are bigger than you expected in order to get you to be almost drowning, I guess you could say. And he's gonna do everything he can to make you go down under. But you've got to hold on to that life jacket like your life depends on it, because it really does. Hold on tight. And you know what? God's gonna keep you above the water. And eventually, the waves will fade and the currents will fade. It will all have been because you've held on to that faith, hope. And also one more thing, never, ever, ever lose love. I don't know if that makes sense, but no matter how people treat you in this world, you have to love people. And the people that hurt you, they're the ones who need the most love, because obviously someone did something to them to make them that way. And they feel like they have to go suck the love out of everyone else and suck the positive energy and take away everything that someone smiles about, I guess. So if you've gotten anything from this video, you're going to make it through the season. You've got to hold on to hope, but you're going to make it. You've got to hold on to your faith, but you're going to make it. God is going to carry you through it all. And also a little fun fact. I do happen to be gay, as you can see the Broadway stuff over here. So another little important message within this video is, yeah, you can be gay and you can also believe in God and be a Christian. God loves me. I don't care what anybody else says. It's what I know to be true. So God can surely love you, my friend. I have this poster in my room. It says, "Imagine an unfailing love." God's love is for everybody. Doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, whoever you are. God already knows you. He made you after all. So there's nothing that you can do to separate his love from you. And also, you've got to raise your praise when you're going through a hard time in life. Because we should be praising God at all moments. It doesn't matter if you're going through a good time or a bad time. Your praise will help you get through any bad time. If you're not a person of faith, and maybe it's not your thing, okay, fine, good for you. But, so I'm gonna give like a little side tip. Something I also recommend when you're going through a hard time is to dance it out. Literally just put on some music, your favorite song, whatever the case is, and get moving and just dance it out. Dance it out, because I find that dancing, literally, even if it's just the most ridiculous dance moves you can come up with, it'll elevate your mood and lift you up. And it won't cure your problems, but it'll help you know joy. Because I find that I'm joyful when I dance. Even if it's, like I said, the most ridiculous thing that I'm doing. If you can find joy through dancing or whatever brings you joy in life, it reminds you that you're not going to stay stuck in the season that you're in. Also, one of my favorite songs that I'm listening to right now, it's called Haven't Seen It Yet. Have you cried all the faith you've had through so many tears? Yeah. Don't forget the things that he has done before. And remember that he can do it all once more. One of my favorite songs, especially during this season of my life. Don't ever lose hope. Hold on. Maybe you just haven't seen it yet. I'll leave it at that. Maybe you just haven't seen it yet. You're closer than you think you are. Only moments from the break of dawn. All his promises are just up ahead. Maybe you just haven't seen it yet. I literally love this song so much. So keep your faith, keep hope, keep love, be kind to people, be a blessing to others, do good things for people. The world needs it. There's so many shitty people in this world that might ruin it for someone who's really struggling out there. So be the change, be kind, and try your best not to be a bad person. And just keep love in your heart. I hope this video helped somebody. Have a blessed week and stay blessed.